Hi, and welcome to Movie Talk. Before I get started, I'd like to apologize for missing a few weeks. I was busy with the event that I told you about in one of my previous videos, and then playing catch up with some of the other stuff that I had to do afterwards. Then we had a big windstorm and lost power, and my internet connection went down, and I had to conserve my mobile thingies on my phone to do other things, and then I got sick. All things that were completely out of my control. So I apologize. And so we're going to get right back into this. I'm Jennifer, and this is Movie Talk. Self-sacrifice, star-crossed love, in a brutal game of literally life and death. That's everything you get in The Hunger Games. This movie was made in 2012 and stars Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen and Josh Hutcherson as Peeta Mattel, and I might be mispronouncing his last name, and if I am, I apologize. I mean, the character's last name, who are actually the main characters in the story. This movie was based off of a book series, a trilogy. It's a 4-movie series based off of a 3-book series, and I have read the books. I will talk about them in my new videos, book talk at some point when I get there. And when I get through all 3 books and all 4 movies, I will do a video and I will compare the books with the movies. We'll do a little comparison in this one with the first book and the first movie, just a little bit. I did read the Hunger Game book before I saw the movie. So I do know a little. I do know a little bit more that was in the book than was in the movie. On the aspect of how the movie flows, I actually liked how the story flows. Excuse me. I actually liked the movie a little bit better than the book, because the book is very. And if you haven't read the book is very much told from Katniss's point of view. So, things that she's not aware of that are going on, like when she's within the game, within the arena, you don't know what's going on outside. You don't know what's happening outside the arena. How her sponsor Hamish, who in the movie is played by Woody Harrelson, is going about getting her sponsors, and whatnot. What's going on at home with her little sister Primrose in the movie, played by Willow Shields, and her best friend Gail Hawthorne, who's played by Liam Hemsworth. How that comes along. What's going on with them? What's going on with her mom? Excuse me, I'm still getting over this bug. You do see a little bit more of that in the movie than you do in the book, because the movie isn't through Katniss's eyes. You're not watching the movie through Katniss's eyes. They're actually doing it, which I thought was I actually like that a lot better. I have nothing against, one-person books, or books that are told from a single person's point of view. They can be good. I just feel you miss a lot because you're only seeing what the main character is seeing. So I did like how they did a little differently in the movie. They made it more broader. I loved how they showed the different, District 12. They did a very good job of making it look very dilapidated and everything, which is how it was described in the book, and the way they did the Capitol, how the Capitol looked amazing, which is how it was in the book. You don't see much of the other districts. That actually, I believe, comes up more in the second movie. But again, you wouldn't, because she's not really from the other districts. She's from the most outlying district. and whatnot. And I did like this. It is very good. They did a really good job on it. Did take a little bit of poetic licensing, which is okay. People who adapt movies from books tend to do that a lot, because you want to kind of make it a little bit your own. So there was that. Trying to think here. The whole thing with the pin, in the movie, in the book, it was her, I believe they called it her token item that she was allowed to bring in with her. Everyone's allowed to bring in like one token item as long as it's not something they can use against the other players. And that was her pin. In the movie, it's more of a secret between her and her stylist. So they did change that a little bit. They did change the thing with the animals that kind of attack them near the end. They did change that a little bit, which is okay. I liked that a little better than the whole mind game of the animals in the book. Although in the book, I think it went more towards how the Capitol kind of sees these people from the district a little bit. But again, that's kind of my opinion, and I will get more into the animals and how they were in the book when I do the Hunger Games in book talk. So, be patient. I will get to that at some point. There's quite a few books ahead of it. And just to kind of sidetrack here, I kind of like to do my videos on book talk once I finish the book. And I'm sorry, I heard my dog bark. I think she was just barking at one of my cats. Or possibly a squirrel. That's just my dog. I'm getting sidetracked here. But yeah, I really liked it. Summarize the movie a little bit without giving away too much. Katniss lives in a time when the United States has become Pandora. Something happened to make there be 14 areas of livability, the capital and the 13 outlying districts. And they lived very happily for quite some time until the 13th district decided that they didn't like living under the rule of the capital and rebelled against them. And they kind of explain this in the book as well. They do a little, I'm trying to think of the word here. They do a little, you see lines at the beginning of the movie where it looks like it's taken out of a passage and it explains what happened. It kind of sets up the Hunger Games as well. What the Hunger Games themselves in the movie and in the book are, more because they can't do a lot of descriptive in the movie just because of time. That's kind of one of the drawbacks with when you're transferring, doing a movie from a book. You have to kind of give and take a little bit. But anyways, I'm getting, to get everything you want, but anyways, I'm getting a lot. So anyways, so District 13 kind of rebelled and it was wiped out, and it was decided to make sure none of the other 12 districts went against there. Each district would send 2 champions, or 2 tributes, not champions, tributes, 1 male, 1 female, every year to the capital to compete in the Hunger Games. So 24 children between the ages of, I think, 12 and 18. I'd have to actually reread the books. I don't remember the exact age limit. I know Primrose was within her first year of it, and that was, I know that much, but I can't remember exactly how old she was. Anyways, they're sent to the capital, and they are to fight each other in this arena. Basically for the entertainment of the people in the capital, but then the people in the district are also forced to kind of watch. And to me, it's like, okay, so to me, it's like I get what the author's doing there. She's trying to portray the capital as a very cruel thing, make these people watch their children be killed. And this event where only really one is going to come out the victor, and even then they're going to lose something within this arena because a lot of them come out damaged. But we'll get into that within the second one because you actually see some of the champions from the other districts that come out of there early. The only ones that come out okay are from 1 and 2 because they're a little better trained for it. But anyways, Primrose gets picked for the girls, and Katniss volunteers to go in her place because she made a promise to her sister, and I think to her mom as well, that she wouldn't let anything happen to her sister. So that's how she ends up going. And then Peeta is pulled, and of course nobody's going to volunteer for him. And so they go to the Capitol with Hamish, and their Capitol representative within their district, a woman named Alfie Tinker, who's played by Elizabeth Banks in the movie. And honestly, when I saw her in the movie, I was like, oh my God, she looks so ridiculous because she had like all this makeup on and this wacky hair color and just really strange clothes and everything. She just looks so out of place among the miners of District 12 because that's what District 12 contributed to the Capitol. They were coal miners. And she just looks so out of place, and I'm just looking at this actress on here, and no disrespect to the actress herself, just the character just looked so ridiculous. And then I was talking to one of my friends about it at work, and they're like, well, yeah, but if you have you read the books? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, if you remember from the book, she was kind of written that way. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I guess she was supposed to look kind of a little bit like a clown compared to the district people. So I found that kind of amusing. Hamish was really interesting too because he was one of 2 people, this is mentioned in the book, not so much in the movie, from District 12 that actually survived, but he's the only one that's surviving up to this point. Of course, obviously Katniss is going to survive at some point, is going to survive since the books are told through her eyes, and there are 3 books, and each one takes place about a year apart. So anyways, and getting into the whole Star-Crossed thing the day before they spend like a week training to kill each other, basically, because they want to kind of teach them how to survive as well, because they're not going to be fighting each other, they're also going to be fighting the elements in the arena and whatnot. So they're trained. They train for like a week, and then they are assessed individually. And how they do in training, as well as their individual skills, determines their ranking within the Hunger Games itself. And this is very important because the higher the ranking, the better chance they have at getting sponsors. And sponsors can send them things, allow their mentors to send them things into the arena, like medicine and food and stuff. And excuse me, my foot's falling asleep here. So they're able to do that, and that's kind of important. Katniss actually gets a very high ranking because she is a hunter. A legal hunter. You're actually not allowed to go beyond the fence walls and hunt, but she and Gale do that all the time. It's a way to kind of feed their family. And a lot of the marshals, the people, I can't remember what they're called in the books, but a lot of the people who are the police force for the Capitol within the districts, they kind of look the other way because they benefit from them bringing in food, wild game and stuff. So they kind of just like, okay, you're not supposed to do this, but we're going to look the other way because we're benefiting from it as well. So they really, Katniss and Gale really took advantage of the greed there, but I'm digressing. So she had a little bit of an advantage as she knew how to use the bow and arrow. Peeta, his one advantage that he had, and this is very prominent in the movie, is that he's the baker's son. he is very strong because he lifts big things of sugar and flour and stuff around. And he also decorated the cakes, so he knows how to do intricate details, and I don't want to give away too much, but that becomes very apparent in the movie. And then the night before the games take place, they do this interview with all 24 tributes, and this is where the whole star-crossed thing kind of comes into play. PETA says that they're, the Cinna was the stylist, I believe. The reporter asks PETA if there was a girl back in District 12 that he liked, and he said kind of, but she never really knew he existed. And the guy says, well, I'll tell you what, you win this, and she will have to notice you. I'm actually quoting from the movie here. He says, I don't think that's possible. And the guy says, why? He's like, because she came here with me. So I don't know if that's something they came up with, like the character came up with to kind of sell them, or if it's true or not, because they don't really delve into it in the book or in the movie. But that's where the whole star-crossed thing kind of comes from. And sorry, I'm trying to think here. So anyway, so they go into the thing, and a good portion of them are actually weeded out beforehand. A lot of them are like the tributes that really weren't given names within the in the beginning, and whatnot. I don't want to give too much away, but then they do make the rule change, and they try to go back on it, and then it's a really good movie. The books are really good as well, so I definitely suggest checking out both. I would recommend that you read the book before you watch the movie, because a lot of things in the movie will make more sense if you do. Just because they did have to cut a lot out of the books when they did the movie, just time-wise. They just couldn't put everything in, which is understandable. If you try to put everything in the movie that was in the book, you're going to end up with a 6-hour movie sometimes. So it's like you got to kind of pick and choose what's important. I love the effects. I loved the movie. I loved when they did the tribute parade. I loved the costumes that Cinna put PETA and Katniss in. I loved them. I thought they were very beautiful. I loved the dress that Katniss wore for her interview. I thought it was very pretty. Not that what PETA wore for the interview was terrible. It's just he kind of wore a suit, and there's only so much you can do with a suit. There was just a lot more that they could do with the dress. I thought it was very pretty, and whatnot. And I liked the outfit that she wore at the end of the movie during the closing ceremonies. I thought that was very good, very pretty. So yeah, I really liked that one. I liked the whole movie overall. I thought it was very good. Again, I highly recommend it. Believe what's the rating on this? I'm sure they tell you. I think it's like a PG-13 movie at the very most. Yeah, it's PG-13, so not suitable for under 12 or under 13, which is understandable because there's killing in it. It's really good. The one thing from the book that I wish had made it into the movie was when she was telling PETA the story of how her sister got her goat, because that was in the book. It wasn't really in the movie, and I thought that was just a very sweet little scene and in the book, and it would have been really cute in the movie, but that was just me. You can't get everything you want in the movie that you can. I'm sure there are some things that the directors are forced to cut out of the movie that they want to keep in, just time constricted. So, it's kind of a give or take with things. So, I'm going to wrap up this video. I highly recommend both reading and watching The Hunger Games. Again, I recommend that you read the book before you watch the movie, because a few more things will make sense in the movie if you read the book first. And that's it. I'm Jennifer. Thank you for watching Movie Talk, and I will see you again.